All right, guys, let's connect it up here. Running about a minute late. Well, see how we do here for May 16th, 2021. Live stream coming at you. Go from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I live in Florida, so I live on the Eastern Standard Time, East Coast. But hopefully you guys are doing okay, and you're all over the country, world, different parts of the Earth, right? But ultimately, guys, thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. It's one of those things where I greatly appreciate you guys being here, taking the time to be here this Sunday, and really every Sunday that's here. So we're going to talk about the Walking Dead universe as a whole. Really no spoilers or anything to the last half hour for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 13. And I'm like, 13, right? Because I lose track of what number we're coming up on this Sunday because the episode comes out on Thursday on AMC Plus and Premiere, and then trying to stay ahead with some spoilers and some news about it. So we've been getting more and more news for the remaining episodes of Fear the Walking Dead and some stuff for Walking Dead and stuff there too. So it's just great stuff. It's a good time to be a Walking Dead fan. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Wilson. Thank you, Ada B, for being in the chat. And hopefully we'll get some more people to join here. But I just want to say thank you guys for being here as always. Thank you, Jeannie. So ultimately, guys, we're part of the Walking Dead community, the Walking Dead fandom, the Walking Dead family. And it's just crazy to think that we're coming up on really towards the end of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. And I think it's one of the best seasons for the entire run of Fear the Walking Dead. So many times, I don't know what's going on here with YouTube, but hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I see the things circling, but I think it's catching up now. I think we'll be all right. But I have to say, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is great. It's the best season so far of Fear the Walking Dead, hands down. Like every week since Season 6 is like, man, next thing after what they're answering, they're setting things up, they're answering questions, stuff's making sense, and it's just whatever they're doing for Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead, it's working. It's working for me, and it's working a lot of fans. That being said, Fear the Walking Dead, last week's episode, Season 6 episode, was it 12 now? Again, I'm losing track with the numbers, but the episode with Grace and Morgan and Riley and just the baby stuff in there, I think it had less than 1 million viewers on Sunday. So I don't know if people aren't watching the show, if they're watching it on Thursdays, if they're watching it some other way before coming to Sunday. But Fear the Walking Dead was always a show that was less than The Walking Dead. When Walking Dead had millions and millions and millions of views or viewers, Fear the Walking Dead had a fraction of that. Like even the first episode of Fear the Walking Dead was, a lower rated viewed episode than The Walking Dead. And I wonder if people are going to come back to The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead after watching this season, because I would assume you're watching Fear the Walking Dead because you watched it from the very beginning. I don't think you're watching it now if you haven't watched the previous seasons. Probably had to watch at least season 4 when Morgan came around. But to really get the gist of it, it's pretty cool to watch it from the very beginning and see where it came from, California, and then the yacht, and then Mexico, and then Texas, and now different parts of Texas. And so we've seen where this group has come from. So we've seen different characters come and go, and, a lot of it didn't make sense. They had plot holes. They were reaching. It was cheesy. It was campy. And there's been minimal of that in Season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. And I still think The Walking Dead Season 6 is my favorite season, and Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is definitely my favorite season of Fear. So does it take 4, 5, 6 seasons to really get the show together? Some stuff doesn't even have that much material. If it's a comedy or something, it's different. But for a show like this, shows don't even last 6 seasons. They may last a season or 2, and then they're canceled. And so it's like, does a show get cut off before it can find its realm, niche, I don't know, feet, whatever you want to call it? Because this is a niche show. The Walking Dead universe is about zombies. It's about, it's just a niche thing. It's zombie, it's horror, it's just different stuff. It's not your normal thing. And, certain things, like last week's episode, people were asking about the baby. Is the baby going to turn? Did the baby turn? Why didn't the baby turn? Are kids immune? So let's just talk about that now, because last week's episode, it was Grace in the dream state. Morgan, Grace, they were trying to go to the hospital to get Morgan or to get Grace to deliver the baby. But then the showrunner said that the baby was stillborn, so the baby wasn't going to survive. But I don't know like babies and fetus and development and stuff like that. That's out of my realm. So I don't know how long the baby can survive and then have a heartbeat and then not, because on the fetal monitor, they thought everything was pretty good, right? Sarah said, we need a fetal monitor. And they went to go get it and they brought it and they checked it and they're like, oh, it's okay, you know, but she needed to be checked out. And, you know, in the zombie apocalypse, anything can happen. People can live, people can die, people can change, people can go away, then come back. You know, it just makes sense besides like being killed off and then they have some magic serum and then they're coming back as a regular human being. But in a zombie apocalypse and in life and in everyday life, that may have happened what happened to Grace. And some people can't believe they did that. And some people believe, well, it's kind of real. It's kind of a realistic approach to it, you know? And I know when I started watching The Walking Dead, I was like, okay, zombie apocalypse. Wasn't the biggest fan initially. You know, I watched some different stuff here and there, but a lot of the things were cheesy. They were over the top. It was like watching Sharknado stuff. Like, I'm not a Z Nation person. I'm just not some of those things that are a little too much. But I like Dawn of the Dead. I like certain aspects of those movies. But I don't know if it's just one of those things where it just wasn't for me. And then The Walking Dead came along. And then it just changed. It just changed everything. It was like, boom, somewhat realistic. I know it's fiction, it's science fiction. But it was like, okay, zombie apocalypse. What would you do in the situation? Where would you go? Rick's trying to find his family. He found his family. Shane, Lori, dynamic farm here, prison there. You're like, okay, I'm getting into this. Okay, it's really done. It's really done in really well. And we didn't have like those zombie animals. And we didn't have, you know, zombie babies. And we didn't have stuff like that in The Walking Dead. So Sheila says, yeah, in Dawn of the Dead, the zombie died and came back. Which was kind of cheesy, you know, with the girl who gave birth in the mall, and then the baby was born, and there was a zombie, and you know, the zombie doesn't have teeth, so it can't bite you. Doesn't really probably have fingernails, so it can't scratch you. Was it gonna gum you? I mean, like, it's just pointless to happen. But it just seems like a little whatever. So we didn't see it on The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. The baby tried to be resuscitated by Morgan with CPR and it just didn't work. And then we thought like the baby could survive. And I'm just going to give that spoiler away for this episode. I know it's earlier than that, but the baby doesn't survive. The baby isn't a thing. And I was hoping that June would have been able to get there, do something and save the baby. And maybe something was blocked and, you know, I don't know, but it just didn't work and the baby's gone and that's where it happened. So it's definitely something that goes to the realistic aspect of it. And there has to be loss and there has to be people that we care about and we lose them or a person they're connected with or an animal or something. And it feels that way, you know, not everything's going to be like, oh, the zombie apocalypse is great. And they have all these supplies and it's great. And they take out their enemies and it's great. And everybody lives and it's great. It's just, that's pie in the sky. That's wishful thinking to have like everything work out all the time. And everybody we love and care about on the show survives, you know, it's just, I'm just glad it's not done that way. It's a little more realistic approach to it. So, where was something I wanted to bring up? I wanted to answer here. Sorry, guys, but it's been a little crazy morning for myself. I was trying to finish up the latest book, which I finished my last edit. My wife finished hers last weekend. I finished my edit. I have to send the proof is on its way from Amazon for my latest book, Fight for Us Revenge. Got to make sure everything's good. Then I'll start the Kindle, and then I will get it going, and we will be on track for hopefully next weekend. Fight for Us Revenge, which is book 14 of the Fight for Us series, will be available on Amazon. It's on, you know, it'll be available on Kindle and paperback, and I'm just like, wow, 14 books. I remember talking to a couple people way back when, so many years ago. I was like, do people read books still? And people are like, yeah, I do. I read digital books. I read paperback books. I'm doing this. I love books. And they read and all that stuff too. I was like, okay, cool, you know, because I wanted to have the idea of a zombie apocalypse story. And I'm going up on book 14. Well, it's more than that because I have Fight for Us, and I have In 100 Days, which In 100 Days is the prequel to the Fight for Us series. So it's more than that. So it's actually coming up on book 16 of the series, but 14 for Fight for Us. So, but I know somebody asked me about the kids here, like 252 Scooby says, where's the kids? They literally fell down the plot hole. So the kids, I forget their names, but the kids, because it's been so long ago, they're probably not going to be seen this season because of COVID. The same thing with Wendell. He was seen in the first half of season 6, and then COVID happened, and then he got another job to be in another movie or something that he'll be back in season 7. So we're not going to see Wendell in the remaining episodes of season 6. The kids, most likely because of COVID precautions and trying to be there and stuff there too. So I don't think we're going to see the kids at all in the remaining episodes of season 6, and Wendell as well. So that's going to be, a lot of people are just saying like, we're not sure if we're going to see those again. So hopefully in season 7, but with COVID stuff, and we've had a lot of cast return for season 6B after the precautions and stuff. But the big outlier right now is Alicia. What's going to happen with Alicia in season 6 and season 7? Because a lot of people follow different cast members on Instagram. You can follow Alicia and Austin and, really everybody on the Walking Dead universe, except for Andrew Lincoln. I don't think Lenny James has Instagram, but really everybody else, has Instagram, or they take over the Instagram account. So you're probably not going to, if you find an Andrew Lincoln on Instagram or Facebook, it's not the real Andrew Lincoln. It's a fan account, or it's someone managing it for them, but it's not usually what it is. And Lenny James, I don't believe, has it either too. So BJ Logan 007 Q&A, a YouTuber stated in his opinion Fear Season 6 is better than Season 10 of The Walking Dead, which I ask, do you have any Fear seasons that may be better than any Walking Dead season? So, well, to each their own, that's good. If everybody has an opinion on there too. Mass Ninja, Mark, that's fine. There's people that like Fear the Walking Dead better than The Walking Dead. And I asked the poll question, I guess it's the poll question on YouTube, not the live stream on YouTube, that do you like The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead better? And there was 12% that actually liked Fear the Walking Dead better than The Walking Dead. And that's okay. It's just not something I agree with. I think The Walking Dead is far superior in every aspect of the Walking Dead universe because it's the main staple. They have better casts, they have better characters, they have better, I shouldn't say cast. The cast is really good on both shows. I just think better character development. So nothing against, Coleman Domingo and Lenny James is on both shows, and, Austin was on both shows, and Christina Angelista was on both shows. And, Jenna Elfman, I think is great. I think she's a great character. Garrett Dillahunt, great actor. I just think the characters are better on The Walking Dead. The stories are better there too. So I think Fear the Walking, if any seasons are better on Fear the Walking Dead than The Walking Dead, it's this season right now. Fear the Walking Dead season 6 is the best season of the show, in my opinion. It's better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's better than the early days and Madison this and Madison that. Like, you guys know how I feel about Madison. Nothing against the actress, nothing against her. Kim Dickens is, I've seen her at different conventions and stuff, and she seems like a great person, and I liked her in different stuff. She was on Sons of Anarchy and different shows and different movies, but I just think the Madison character just really wasn't the best for the lead, and it just wasn't stuff that we wanted to watch, in my opinion. But Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, we'll have to see how it ends. I don't know if it's better than Season 10. I mean, it's better than Season 10C because they're extra, they're filler, they're COVID, they're just, it's 6 episodes versus 13 episodes. It's just not what it is. But I haven't watched Season 7 in a long time of Fear the Walking Dead, or of The Walking Dead. But I would say Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is better than Walking Dead Season 7, and it's probably better than Walking Dead Season 2. Especially 13 episodes and 13 episodes, because The Walking Dead is Season 2. It's only 13 episodes. So if you stack up The Walking Dead Season 2, those 13 episodes, versus Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, those 13 episodes right now, it's better. So I would go with Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 is better than Season 2 and Season 7 of The Walking Dead. But not Season 9, definitely not Season 6 or 4 or 5. Like it's just tough to say. Like it's apples, and we'll say pineapples, it's the same universe. They're the same, but they're different. But I don't know, like Bobby Bunnyman says, really digging season 6. And I'm digging it too. So I don't want to be the guy who's like, you know what, Fear the Walking Dead is so much better than The Walking Dead. Like, I'm not going to do that. They're different, but they're the same. They're part of the same universe. Let's just be thankful that Fear the Walking Dead season 6, in my opinion, they got it right. They got what to do. They're staying away from what not to do. There's still some stuff here and there, but overall, the stuff with Virginia, Ginny's communities, Strand, Alicia, Dakota, John, June, Teddy, just all these characters. It's just working. It's just working on so many levels. And I've never cried watching Fear the Walking Dead until I have in this episode and last week's episode. And even the episode with John. With John, the baby, Morgan, and Grace. And then when I get into it in about 15 minutes, the next episode. So that's 3 episodes in the same season. It's doing great. It's awesome. And I have no problem saying that, I cried watching the episode twice, this week's episode. And I'm like, man, like the same stuff. It just gets you the acting, the character development. It's just amazing too. So, but overall, Walking Dead, really good stuff. So Fear the Walking Dead, killing it. They're still filming in Texas. Season 7's underway. The Walking Dead season 11 is just, it's there. It's filming still. So I believe they're going to be filming, the word is in Griffin, Georgia, for the next 2 weeks. So I believe they're filming. I have some different pictures from a couple different sites to fill it, to make a video about it. And they're going to be there filming. I believe Greg Nicotero just filmed or directed. I want to say it was directed his 35th episode on his Instagram at @GNicotero. Give him a follow. His 35th directed episode of The Walking Dead. That's a lot, but it's not. But it is, but it isn't. 35 episodes is a lot of episodes. It's got to be the most directed. He's got to be the most directed person in the series, I would assume. But he's an executive producer. He's connected with the Walkers. He's connected with all the shows and the universe and Creep Show and all these different things. And he's just doing so many things that he can't direct every episode. He usually directs mostly premieres, mid-season finales, premieres, and season finales. But Greg Nicotero, great guy. Nothing but respect and love for that guy. He's been a great part of the success of The Walking Dead, and it can't be, downplayed, his great part in that too. So let me see what you got here. So, I can't, sorry. I can't, sorry this name, but Q&A. First of all, hello, PT peeps. Do you think the PTSD from Daniel is real, or is he playing it a little to get closer to Victor? I personally think it's real, because he wouldn't have to get closer to Victor. If he wanted to go stay at Lawton, he could just go there. He seemed upset. He seemed confused. He seemed that he was breaking it down, and he may be a great actor, and he was acting in Lawton, but I think it was legit. There's a lot of people that think that. To me, it just doesn't make sense that he had to fake that to do that. But, it's a good question nonetheless, and I could see why people see that, but to me, it just doesn't make that much sense. So, other stuff then, sorry, but it's like, trauma Baki. I'm sorry. It's just all one word and it's all big thing. So I apologize for that too. So I've watched, what did I watch this past Friday? So I think I'm going to do a review of the movie in a different video like this week, or probably this week I'll post it. There's a movie on HBO Max, and I believe in theaters. It's called Those Who Wish Me Dead. And we talked about it in here, a couple different live streams. And Angelina Jolie is the star in the movie. And also John Bernthal is in the movie, and it's a pretty decent part, pretty big part for him. He is, I'm not going to give it away. He's a part of the movie. John Bernthal played Shane on The Walking Dead. And since meeting John Bernthal on the Walker Stalker cruise a couple years ago, I liked the guy before that, but I have nothing but respect and love for John Bernthal. And my wife and I have HBO Max, and we watched the movie on Friday. It's called Those Who Wish Me Dead, which I have really no idea why it's called that after watching the movie. It's a decent movie. It's okay. It's worth watching if you have HBO Max. I wouldn't say it's worth going to the movie theater, because movie theaters are really expensive. But if you have HBO Max, if you have HBO, you have HBO Max. Definitely check it out. Got to respect and love John Bernthal, part of the Walking Dead family. And there's other people in it. I'll definitely post a review about that movie in a different video this upcoming week. I'm going to talk about something briefly in the next half hour because it has spoilers about a character that we'll meet in the episode, and I don't want to give anything away for that. But Army of the Dead, it's a zombie apocalypse movie set in Las Vegas, comes out next Friday, or this Friday coming up, not next Friday, this Friday. The next most Friday is Army of the Dead, Netflix, Dave Bautista, Zack Snyder, Zombie Apocalypse, Garrett Dillahunt, a bunch of other people that are going to be interesting because I've heard different things. I've heard that the Army of the Dead movie is an hour too long because I don't know if it's 2.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever. It's because usually a movie has got to be an hour and a half too. So Dragon says YouTube has for 15 minutes of Army. Yeah, you can watch the first 15 minutes of it. I'm actually staying away from it because I want to go in watching it. Like I didn't watch the first 7 minutes of Mortal Kombat on YouTube from it. I just wanted to go and watch it. Because if I watch it, I'm like, I don't know, like I want to just keep watching it. I don't want that big of a tease. I just want to go in Friday, watch Army of the Dead, support Dave Bautista, who lives in Tampa Bay, or at least had a home in Tampa Bay, and Garrett Dillahunt and Zack Snyder in there. It just seems awesome. I'm excited to see it, and I hope it's entertaining. It's going to have some zombie animals and some crazy things going on, which, if it's done in the right way. Like, I like Zombieland, but Zombieland is supposed to be campy. If Army of the Dead is supposed to have that campy kind of feel, we'll see. I don't know. Again, it just has to make sense for what it's going for. Don't go realistic and have campy, cheesy stuff in it. And don't have campy, cheesy stuff and be realistic. I don't know. It's just kind of know what you're going to be and going where it's going to. So. What a name. Why are you so mad, bro? Asks, when are they going to film the Rick Grimes movie? Great question, because I was going to bring that up and you did. Why you so mad, bro? Thank you. I don't know. I wish they would just start filming yesterday, so long ago, right? Because you can make TV shows and movies. You can film all over the place. They have been filming in Australia and all over the United States and Europe. You can film stuff. COVID precautions, vaccinations, COVID testing, protocols, precautions. Just you have to do it wisely. Make sure it's good, right? So why aren't they filming the Walking Dead Rick Grimes movie? I don't know. I have no clue. Because let's think about it. Andrew Lincoln's in Europe, right? In the UK, wherever he actually lives. But so is Eleanor Matsuura, who plays Yumiko, but she's in Georgia filming The Walking Dead Season 11. She's from the UK, I believe. Nadia Hilker, who plays Magna on The Walking Dead, has been seen in Georgia filming The Walking Dead Season 11. So 2 people from Europe were over here filming. So you come over, you quarantine for 7, 10, 14 days, whatever the protocols are. You just come in, get your vaccinations, and do it. Whatever they want to do, right? Start filming, wear a mask, precautions. You can do it. Happens all the time. So I don't know why they're not filming the Walking Dead movie. I don't know if it's a Walking Dead thing, AMC, Universal, Skybound. I have no idea what the problem is. Is it Rick, Gimple, Kirkman? Just, I don't know. So, but I don't know, right? It just seems like Wilson says, we can't leave the UK ATM at the moment. But people did, though. Like Mark Wahlberg, he flew from California into Europe to film the Uncharted movie. So you can go in there, charter a private jet, and then fly out of there. Like, how did Eleanor Matsuura leave the UK to come back over here months ago? How did how did Nadia Hilker leave there and then come over here? I don't know. I mean, I just don't get it. So I'm sure people can travel. People can travel. But I don't know. It's one of those things where if they said, Andrew Lincoln, be there Monday, quarantine, do this, do that, get on your, because you know Andrew Lincoln's flying private. You think Andrew Lincoln is going to be on this American Airlines jet? Yeah, Andrew Lincoln is in first class. No, he's going to be on a private jet, part of that, with 7 to 10 people probably in the jet, flying over here with the same people that he's been around, or that tested negative, or whatever it's going to be. It's just for what it is, too, so. I don't know, but where's my guy who said he's in Tampa? He works in Tampa. Meat Cranium, I believe, says he works in Tampa Bay. Cool stuff. Yeah, I work in Tampa Bay. Good, Meat Cranium. Hopefully you're doing all right. Do you live in Tampa Bay? Do you live right outside? You live right outside coming in I-4 kind of thing too. So, Masked Ninja asks, Q&A. Have you seen the TV show Jericho? Lenny James is in it. It's a post-apocalyptic TV show. It's to survive a nuclear fallout after 23 American cities were destroyed by 23 nukes. It's very good. I have not, Masked Ninja, Jericho. So what is that on? Is that on AMC? Is it on Amazon, Hulu, Netflix? Jericho, Lenny James, post-apocalyptic TV show. Let me know in the comments, Masked Ninja. I've not seen that, but hey, I love the idea of, people tell me all the time different things, recommendations, and I've watched some cool things for different things people recommended. And I like it when people recommend stuff because, like there's movies that I watch that suck. And, I'm usually a positive person. Masked Ninja says Paramount Plus. Okay, so Paramount Plus. So Paramount Plus for Lenny James and Jericho. I have to remember that. Now, Lindsay Robb says, Jericho is excellent. I think it's on Hulu. So I'll have to look for Jericho, Lenny James, for sure. But, yeah, I know the idea of just different things going around for, what's going on here? But Paramount Plus, speaking of Paramount Plus, hopefully you guys are excited for the Friends reunion on HBO Max. That'll be out on May 27th. So this week, I try to look at different things for, different week to week to week to week. So next week, or this week coming up, we have Fear the Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 14 with Alicia. It's going to focus a lot around Alicia. So, yeah, let's see. Well, so Cammy, timed out the person. If they come back, just let me block the person if it's a pain. So we'll just do it. Just let's let me handle it for there because I'll hide the person from stuff so they won't be able to spam the chat. So, I don't know what I was thinking about. But Fear the Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 14 is this week coming up. And then Memorial Day weekend, we don't have an episode because I think they think people are going to travel and people wouldn't watch it as much on Sunday. So the following 2 episodes, 15 and 16, will be in June. So that prolongs it a little bit longer in June, which will be good. And I would really love to get a trailer for The Walking Dead at the end of this month, if not the end of this week, because, we're on the 16th now. Pretty soon it'll be the 22nd, and that's 3 months out from the Walking Dead season 11A. So, Meat Cranium, I'll answer that in the next half hour for sure. Great question. It's a little early for that, but great question, Meat Cranium. But I'll answer that for sure. But I think that we're going to hopefully get a trailer. I could see them stretching out the Walking Dead trailer stuff until after Fear the Walking Dead, which will be, whatever that is, the first 2 Sundays in June. So I think that would make the most sense to do it then, to have the last episode that Sunday or the following Sunday to have it there. So there's something there as well. I don't know if we're going to wait. I don't even know what's the deal with Comic-Con. Is it July? Is it later? Is it in the fall? I don't even know what the latest is. I just know that Tampa Bay Comic-Con is this summer, and Chandler Riggs is going to be there. Also, I know that Dave Bautista is going to be at WonderCon. Is it WonderCon? Is that what it's called in Orlando? I forget what it's called, but he's going to be at a convention in Orlando. So the conventions are starting back up little by little, and I live in Florida, so the governor was like, you know what? You don't got to wear a mask. You know what? We're going to do this. You know what? Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. So we'll have to see how it goes down, but I think it's a little early for myself to go to conventions. I'll probably be waiting for next year to go to conventions or, different cruises and stuff, vacations for myself. So I'm just going to wait another year until we get set there too. So Radical Z says, do you watch any Marvel movies? Connie's in the Eternals. Yeah, Radical Z, I've seen, most, really all of the Marvel movies now. And Lauren Ridloff is going to be in the Eternals, which I'm excited for that. It was supposed to be last year, but it's going to be this year too. And that's why she wasn't in season 10C for that reason. And also probably COVID as well too. But I'm excited to see Lauren Ridloff back as Connie on in The Walking Dead. John says, Q&A, is the Daryl and Carol spinoff canceled? I saw the picture of Daryl being stabbed by arrows. Well, thank you, John. Let me answer that question, and then I'm going to roll right into Fear the Walking Dead. So if you saw my latest video? I think it's my latest video that I posted about all the Daryls on there. So if you want to go to YouTube, which you're on now, put in State of Survival, Daryl Dixon. Daryl Dixon is in State of Survival now, which is a mobile game that you can play as Daryl. You have Daryl, his motorcycle, and dog are with him. And there's a whole trailer about it, which was probably filmed in Georgia at their studio some way, somehow, because he rolls up on his bike. He goes around kind of like a Terminus type thing or a Sanctuary type thing. He's looking at barrels. He's looking at different things. He gets, attacked. She gets shot in the neck he actually sees a bunch of dead Daryls sitting. And that's what the picture is in the video. And he's like, what the? And he gets shot in the neck by an arrow. And then he gets shot a bunch of times by a bunch of different arrows. And he falls down on his stomach. And then there's another Daryl coming for him. And then a bunch of Daryls kill that Daryl. And there's a bunch of Daryls that are waiting. And then it's Norman Reedus on his phone. He's like, amateurs. And he's playing State of Survival. So it's all for a video game ad for State of Survival, the mobile game. So the Daryl Dixon is actually Daryl getting shot by arrows. It's really Daryl. But it's not anything to do with The Walking Dead Season 11. It has to do with a mobile game that's, has a lot of people confused. And I was trying to clear that up and just answer that too. So hopefully I cleared that up a little bit here too. So let's see. BJ Logan, the last one. Q&A, not Q&A. I read an article stating Comic-Con will be in October, I think. I'll try and find out. Send it on Facebook. So, yeah, I saw something about that, too, that Comic-Con is going to move to October. But you're right. You're probably right about that. I don't know exactly what they came out finalized with it, too. So, but, Daryl's going to be very much alive. Daryl and Carol will make it to the end of Season 11. And then we'll get the Daryl and Carol spinoff next year, too. So, spoiler warning, guys. We're going to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 13 with June. It focuses on June. So, June is the focus of this episode. The episode starts with her walking towards Morgan's community. She actually steps on some like shells of robin eggs. So Raquel says, hi, what do you think this is going to happen with Alicia about her finding her mom? So we'll find out next week about the Mother episode. It's titled Mother, but I just don't think it's going to. I really hope we get answers from survivors from the stadium. And I'll talk about that in another. I already made a video that I talk about. There's one guy with this beanie on that happens super fast in the trailer. It's kind of like a discussion video where I'm not taking it too serious who I think it could be. But there's another video I have to make where we could possibly see 3 people from the stadium. But that's next week's episode, not this one too. So I just want to know if Madison shows up, that's fine. Then Madison's back. We don't have to wonder about it. If she's not ever showing up, I just want to know, just tell us she's done. And survivors from the stadium saw her burnt body. And then Alicia goes to the stadium and sees it. And, I don't know. I just want it to be done. And so we can move on either way too. So, but Morgan and June kind of face off. June actually walks through the walkers that are on the pikes, the sticks kind of things that they bring definitely back from The Walking Dead. But it's Morgan, so it kind of connects really well. So she goes in and she talks to Morgan. Morgan's there waiting with his arms crossed like, yeah, where were you? You couldn't snow. He basically is mad at June for not being able to save Grace's baby. And he kind of feels bad and pissed off that he didn't want to go to, he didn't want to have to drive out of their community to go to the hospital that they're building. He kind of feels that June should have been there, and Morgan's pretty much really rude and disrespectful to June. June's like, I have to go check on her and make sure she's okay. And he's like, do you have to check on her? Is it for you or is it for her? And she's like, whatever. And she just walks away. Then she goes back to Tank Town. She checks over some things, kills a walker, has the note that Rabbi Jacob gave her. She's not ready to look at it. She puts it in her jacket pocket. Dwight goes there, and he overheard, Morgan and June kind of arguing. June points his gun at Dwight. Dwight's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's like, this and that. Sherry was there too. They're kind of talking about what to do. Sherry comes down. He's like, keep talking, keep talking. Sherry's kind of got this attitude the whole episode until the very end. And it's understandable, and we'll talk about it why. But so June looks up, and he goes, is that person with you? Gunshot hits the car, hits the tire, does this. They hide down. June kicks out one of the mirrors from the car. She looks at it, boom, shoots the mirror out. It's kind of obvious what they were doing with that. And it's an older man. Sherry's like, I'm going to take him out. She just fires like into the air, like with her pistol. Like, I don't really think she could have hit the guy. So then June freaks out and she's like, we need him alive. I got to go check on my, on the lead or whatever. So she walks up the hill, the ditch. Walkers start coming because of the gunfire. June finds an RV that's parked there while Dwight and Sherry kill the walkers that were, there. So she breaks the side window. The RV definitely looks like Dale's RV. It's not the same one, but it definitely looks a lot like it. She wraps up her pistol with her jacket, hits the glass, breaks the glass, gets into it, finds this board with all these different leads of all these pictures of the end is the beginning, the end is the beginning, the end is the beginning, all these different Polaroids. So the person in the RV is following the end is the beginning people, hunting them down, tracking these people. We hear, June turns around. The old guy says, what are you doing here? They're on the same side. They kind of argue and fight and talk. Not fight, but talk and argue and say, we're on the same side. We can do this. We can do that. She says, you missed one, talking about the orchard. He says, okay, if you're really not working for them, take me there. Show me something I haven't seen yet. So for some reason, he has June drive the RV. So she's driving the RV along. He says, calls her sweetheart. She hates that. They kind of argue a little bit more. She turns into this walker. He kind of falls over, falls into the front seat. June points her gun at the guy. The guy sees the gun. It has JD written on the handle because it's John Dory's gun. The episode is titled John Dory. He says, where'd you get that gun? She's like, what is it? What difference does it make? He goes, because that's me. I'm John Dory. It's John Dory Senior, John's dad. He's still alive. We're like, what's going on here? We thought he was dead, right? John made it seem like he was dead. But to John, he was because he left. So John Dory Senior, John Dory's back technically. John Dory never left. So JD is John Dory Senior, John Dory Jr., and June Dory. JD, right? So they talk about what to do. June tries to start up the RV. He hears that it's not working. Kill it. And the guy actually is Keith Carradine. I didn't really know who this guy was. You guys were telling me it was Keith Carradine. He is the brother of David Carradine, who was in Kill Bill and Kung Fu and a bunch of different things. I knew David Carradine. I didn't really know the rest of it. My wife actually looked up a thing I was talking about. If any of you guys have watched Raising Hope or The Goonies, there is an actress in both of those shows, Martha Plimpton. She plays Virginia on Raising Hope, and I can't remember her name in Goonies, but she's the girl who has glasses. She's the friends with the main girl, but she's a very good actress. She's actually the daughter of Keith Carradine. I'm going to put this in my Easter egg video, but since you guys are here, I'll give you the little tidbit. She is the daughter of Keith Carradine, John Dory's father. In Raising Hope, Garrett Dillahunt is John Dory. He is Bert. He is Virginia's husband, Bert. So Martha Plimpton is the daughter of Keith Carradine, who's the dad of Garrett Dillahunt, John Dory, in Fear the Walking Dead, and also the dad in real life of Virginia on Raising Hope, who's the wife of Garrett Dillahunt, Bert on Virginia and on Raising Hope. You're like, what? That's crazy, right? It's just crazy to think about it. And also their brother that Keith Carradine's brother, Robert Carradine, is the lead guy in Revenge of the Nerds. And the other, I think, half-brother is... what was he in? I'm gonna have to look that up. But he's in another thing too. I'm like, man, this family is a bunch of actors. But look up Keith Carradine on IMDb, and you can see his brothers and daughter and stuff. You're like, well, that's crazy. That's just crazy stuff on there too. So Keith Carradine is John Dory Senior. John Dory, there's a walker underneath the RV around the drive shaft. I didn't know what it was called. So people were like, drive shaft, it's a drive shaft when I did my review. But it's a drive shaft, evidently. The walker's guts are like wrapped around it. So they try to work it, try to get on there too. So I'm like, whoa, what's happening here? That John Dory Senior reaches to kind of like get the walker out. The walker actually scratches his right hand. So a lot of people are wondering, oh man, he's going to die. He has walker blood on him. But Robert Kirkman distinctly said it's not the scratches that could kill you, because Rick Grimes would have died a long time ago in season 6. He gets scratched on a knife or cut on a knife that has walker blood on it. It's not that. It's the bacteria in a walker bite in a walker's mouth that kills you and causes you to turn. So John Dory should be John Dory Senior should be, I'm just going to call him John Dory or John Dory Senior. He should be fine, but he's got a scratch on his hand where they end up going to the bait and tackle shop where June takes care of him. But so the RV can't move anymore. It's, the walkers, the transmission line is, linking transmission fluid. The drive shaft is messed up. So the RV's done. But June also lost her jacket when she got into the RV. She left it on the window that she broke, and it flew down the way. Sherry and Dwight are on their horses. They're trying to find June. They're coming down the way. Sherry is just like, she's impulsive. She's pissed off. She's rude. She's just not very nice. So Dwight's like, what's your problem? What's going on here? He's like, I just want to get June, and I want to be done with it. So she gets on her horse and she rides. She rides the horse so hard that the horse's heart gives out, and then the horse is dying. And Dwight feels bad, and he's like, oh, the horse thing. And Sherry's like, just shoots the horse, like without remorse, without thought. And I was like, what the? My wife's like, what? She just killed the horse. She just killed the horse. Wait, what? She just killed the horse. Like, she didn't even care, right? And Dwight's like, okay, look, we're going to do this. We're going to get this going. We'll get it going. But Sherry says, I'm trying to find a ride and some gas to get back to Virginia, not Ginny, but Virginia, to kill Negan. And Dwight's like, what are you talking about? What is that going to do? Well, I'm trying to do this to move on with my life, to do that. So she wants to go back to Virginia to kill Negan, which at the end of the episode, she decides not to leave. She decides to stay. But I was like, man, that would be great if Sherry went back. Dwight goes with her. Something happens. A lot of us want Fear the Walking Dead to come back to The Walking Dead. Somehow, some way, we want them to kind of be absorbed into another show. So if you have Fear the Walking Dead, but you still have people from The Walking Dead, would we take that? Of course. We'll take some people coming back to Fear the Walking Dead in the same universe, but it's probably not going to happen. And the showrunner said it's not this time. We don't have any more spin-off ideas or crossover ideas. So Sherry, Dwight, they get on Dwight's horse. They find June's jacket, and remember, because the John letter is in the jacket that she was trying to read, but she hasn't read it yet. That Rabbi Jacob gave to her, so she still hasn't read it. So John Dory and June are walking down the way. They kill this walker. That's kind of awesome. It's got like this tore up face, but then the mouth is kind of sewn shut. So Teddy knows, or John knows that it's one of Teddy's because the embalming fluid, it comes out. And John Dory Senior knows all about Teddy. He knows about the stuff with the embalming fluid. The end is the beginning. He's the one that put Teddy away. He was the mortician. So the John Dory story to Rabbi Jacob was about the mortician, which turns out to be Theodore Maddox, Teddy. That's with Alicia that we'll see next week, and Riley in the end is the beginning people. So it's the same person. The theory, the idea of it was correct. It's just confirmed now. So June tells John Dory Sr. about John, that he became a cop. And he knows that they were married, and he proposed to her the way with a wrapper of a butterscotch wrapper. John Dory Senior proposed to his wife the same way, but it was a juicy fruit wrapper for the gum. So you're like, man, there's a lot of connections and stuff, and it was really cool to see John Dory Senior, June, and it's just sad that John Dory Jr. isn't going to be there, because you're like, man, it would have been nice to see the dad and a reunite. And it's wishful thinking for us to be like, oh, that's a nice, happy ending, but it's not, right? So remember, John Dory Senior has the scratch on his hand. They go to the bait shop. June knows all about it, because we know that's where they got the video rentals. June stocked the shelves, and it's just back to the bait shop. John Dory Senior, they go inside. You see the walkers that John killed. So it's nice callbacks to previous episodes when John Dory Jr. was killed. And it's just really cool callbacks, and it's really good continuity. And we're like, yes, that's what we want. Great continuity in the show and the characters, right? It's just really rewarding, and it's just really nice to see, how it goes. So John Dory Senior and June go inside. John Dory remembers that his son, John Dory Jr., would eat butterscotch ice cream. And I'm like, that sounds gross. But I don't know. Is it gross? Has anybody had butterscotch ice cream? But it takes him back, and there was a freezer there, and he goes here and goes there. And he looks at the video rentals, and he said they watched Bullet a million times, which is the Steve McQueen movie, I'm guessing. June finds some different stuff to treat John Dory Sr.'s cut. She bandages it up and, gives him the Rick look. So there's a lot of Easter eggs to Walking Dead and Rick in here too, and I can't wait to wait my Easter egg video this upcoming week. Then John Dory Sr. comes up with the idea to basically lock June and protect June. So he's like, John, carved his initials in the back room there, right? So that John says, go in there. So June goes in the room, he grabs the thing and locks it up, and he basically is trying to protect June. So he closes the door, locks it, and puts the thing in it so June can't get out. They kind of argue, and he's like, look, I'm trying to do this to protect you. And June gets locked into the back room. John Dory Sr. leaves because they have the idea to go to John's cabin where they think Hill is, Ginny's Ranger Hill, because he should know stuff about the end as the beginning people. So that's where they're going to go next. Back to the cabin. More callbacks, more connections to John. It's just, it's just rewarding to watch again. So Sherry and Dwight go to the bridge where Dakota shot John. There's a lot of dead walkers there, still remain there. You see the red Jeep. You see the truck. Sherry starts up the truck, and it turns over. She's like, it works, barely, and Sherry and Dwight reminisce. To talk about the older truck that I think his dad used to have, or grandpa. It got stuck in the mud the summer after senior year. So Sherry and Dwight have known each other since high school. They're high school sweethearts, and they love each other and they care about each other. But Sherry can't get past the stuff with Negan, probably being Negan's wife, and the stuff that happened to Dwight and Tina, and just everything that happened there. It's still bothers. She has PTSD, and it just makes sense because it's a lot of crazy stuff that happened to her. And she probably felt helpless. So also they went to the RV when John Dory and June left. There was a note there left. They found the thing that said there's the mortician, John Dory Senior. So they put two and two together. So they're all cut up. They know to go to John's cabin. But on the bridge, they talk about it. And Dwight says, if you're going to go back to Virginia and kill Negan, then what? What are you going to do? Come back? She's like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. So Sherry doesn't have a plan. She's just trying to make sense of stuff and everything. It just, I don't know. So she left Virginia to come all the way down to Texas to want to go back, kind of like Morgan did. He went all the way there to want to go back. It's just, but neither of them have, and I think neither of them will. So they hear some banging, and it's most likely June in the bait and tackle shop. I think it's McNeil's, it says, but then they were calling it Bill's. So they go there. They must have freed June because they're all together at the cabin later on. But John Dory Sr. goes back to the cabin, and he doesn't want to go back to the cabin because that's where he left John there 40 years ago. Even though he came back to the area and saw John, the summer after he left him, and he was there at the place eating his butterscotch ice cream. but he decided to leave him because he thought it was the best thing to do after putting Teddy away, and he felt bad and he felt this. So, but either way, he left his son, left his wife. He ran out on him because he thought it was the best thing to do. And it's terrible to leave your family like that. But either way, he goes back to the cabin. He finds it empty. He goes back outside. Here's a walker, kills the walker. And then Hill, who has the other the other pistol that John has, the other JD pistol, points his gun at John Dory Senior. John Dory Senior grabs his hand, takes the gun away, shoots the walker that was coming after him. Hill and them have, a talk where he says, who the heck is Teddy? The one they've been writing the spray paint, the end of the beginning people. Well, he doesn't know much about it. He just knows that they're trying to take everybody out. Something big is going to happen, right? So Hill grabs the wounded hand of John Dory. They fall down. John Dory Senior sees the grave. He's like right there on the grave. Or no, he's standing. He sees the grave and then gets shot in the back on the right side, kind of like the opposite side of Rick where he gets the rebar in, but, the same kind of spot too. So I like the idea of, well, sorry, I take it back. I was reading something, but he gets shot in the back, falls down, falls on the grave of John Dory. So John Dory falls on John Dory's grave. It's kind of crazy. And then Hill is about to put another bullet in him and then gets shot. So Hill gets taken out, nice shot to the head, falls down, gets killed. June, Sherry, and Dwight come and they say, we got to get him in the house. Next scene is John Dory Senior waking up. He was patched up by June. He was saved. So John Dory Senior was saved by June, and June wasn't able to save John Dory Jr., but she still saved somebody. So it was kind of nice that it all happened and stuff the way it happened, but, we still miss John Dory Jr. But they come out, and John Dory Jr. walks out of the cabin. He sees that Dwight gave the jacket to June. June finds the note. She's really excited and thankful. John Dory goes into the truck that Sherry found. It's the same truck that we know from Morgan and John Dory. So we see that John's in there turning the wheel. We were supposed to fix this truck up. It was supposed to be John's first ride, and they were supposed to work together on it. They talk about things, this and that. Well, it's never too late, and they're going to have a funeral, basically for John Dory. We're all there. So it's June, John Dory Senior, Dwight, and Sherry, and this is where it gets very sad and emotional. June reads the note, finally. June starts to break down because John Dory says all these nice things about June, how Laura showed up, and June did this, and his June bug, and just nice, wonderful things. He also talks about his dad that he gave, sorry, I'm blanking on the words. But he forgave his dad, and he still loved his dad. And, of course, his dad's there. They do this, and June starts crying, and then I'm crying, and everybody's crying. It's just so sad. It's great acting. It's great storytelling. It's just impactful. It's there, too. So Sherry and Dwight go to the truck, and they're talking, and Dwight's like, look, are you going to go head out? You're going to go back to Virginia? And he's like, I'm not ready to say, and Sherry says, I'm not ready to say goodbye. John Dory Sr. spent his whole life going after Teddy. He wasted his life, his son's life. He didn't get to know his son. It was just a wasted thing. And Sherry's not ready to do that. Sherry wants to stay, work on it with Dwight, and they want to work on things. And she's like, I was using the Negan stuff as an excuse. I want to work on stuff. So to me, that means Sherry's probably going to die in the next couple episodes, because after this week's episode, we have 14, 15, and 16. So we have 3 episodes left. I assume, and I guess kind of predict, that Sherry's going to die, because they're going to be in a relationship again. They're going to work it out. And we know how The Walking Dead loves to do things with relationships. One of them is going to get killed off. It just happens so many times. So June comes back over to Dwight, gives him back the wedding rings. They're actually Dwight's. Remember, Dwight gave John his rings to use for John and June. Gives back the wedding rings. It's a nice moment. You see, they talk about the wedding and Humbug's Gulch and stuff, and it's just nice. I don't know. It's just nice to see those things, right? So Dwight takes the rings back, puts them back on the string necklace thing that he's wearing. He gets on the horse with Sherry. They ride back to the community, Morgan's community. June and John get into the truck, but June looks back. We see the cabin one last time, and that may be the last time we see the cabin. But maybe not. We'll see it hopefully some way, somehow. But that June and John, they go back to Morgan's, community. So everybody goes back to Morgan's community. John, Dory Senior, is introduced to Morgan by June. Morgan kind of feels bad for how it was, and they kind of make up a little bit. It's much better from the beginning to the end. But Morgan gets to meet John Dory Senior. And John Dory Senior knows all about Teddy and the people that attacked Morgan and Grace, and that's how they've been working on it. So they can work together. They better get to work. You see Grace come out of the church, look at June. She looks sad. So the baby didn't make it. Very upsetting. We already knew that, but it's confirmed that way. And she's been hiding out in the church. So this church is like the end-all, be-all. Dakota was there. Ginny was there. Strand was put in there. Daniel was there. Grace is there. Like, when in doubt, just go to the church. That's what they're doing, too. So we're like, man, we got that set up. And that's the way the episode ends. They're going to get to work. And then, bang, there it goes. And that's the end of the episode. And then next week's episode is Alicia, Riley. It's called Mother, Teddy. And a lot of people are thinking if we're going to see Madison, if we're going to see anyone from the stadium, because it says that Alicia is Teddy's prisoner or held captive by Teddy, but she, I forget what it was, like reunites with old friends and she has to face her past. So she sees old friends. So it's not an old friend, it's old friends, like multiple people. And then in the trailer, it happens really fast that I'm going to share in the video probably on Monday. There's a guy in a beanie with like a thing over his face. And I'm like, who is that? Is that somebody that we saw previously, or I'm just not sure? And then also, again, it's called Mother. The episode's titled Mother. But Teddy said that he's a mama's boy. So we also see him opening up a casket. So I think Mother talks about, Teddy's mom. And I think hopefully we'll see some people from the stadium and we'll get some answers about Madison, that she didn't make it, or she did make. I could see them stretching it out. Like it's going to be like, oh yeah, well maybe we never found her body, so maybe she's somewhere there. And you're like, oh my God, this again? Just give us some answers already, right? Then we see them hunting walkers, and it's just a whole big thing, and they're coming after Teddy and this and that. So it's going to be a whole big thing, and it looks to be a great episode. And again, that's going to be the last episode in May because we don't have an episode in Memorial Day weekend. As for Teddy, I hope John Dory Senior is the one that shoots Teddy. I hope that, I hope so. I could see John Dory Senior dying as he takes out Teddy, like they both die. So I think that could happen too. So what was the question I saw about wrestling? I don't know if I'm going to watch sorry, John, are you watching WrestleMania Backlash tonight? Sorry, I don't have a zombie question. I'd probably not, but I have been watching the A&E biographies. I watched last week's episode. We just finished it. It was about Booker T. And I wasn't the biggest Booker T fan growing up, but it's a great story. He basically came from nothing to becoming a WWE champion and in the Hall of Fame 2 times, and it's a great story. And I think this Sunday's episode is about Shawn Michaels, so I got to watch that. I grew up watching The Rockers and Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels and everything, so I know all about Shawn Michaels and going against Bret Hart, and I just can't wait for that one. They've all been great so far too. So I personally don't know if I'm probably not gonna watch WrestleMania Backlash tonight myself. But hopefully if you watch it, hopefully it's pretty good and entertaining for you too. So Negan 1 says, HBO Andre documentary is awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a great one. I watched that too. It's a sad thing about Andre the Giant, with his acromegaly and basically having gigantism, being that big. And he had a rough life. Being that big is not fun to be, for your heart, your organs, your bones, your body. You're just not built for everyday life. I mean, going to the bathroom, drinking, cases of beer, and it's just crazy. If you ever look up Andre the Giant, you should, because it's hilarious. You look at him and he's holding a regular can of beer, and it looks like he's holding like a mini can. His hand was so big that it's just crazy. So if you ever get a chance to watch that, definitely, for sure. Radical Z says, Q&A, will John Dory Sr. face off with Teddy and kill him since Teddy and him have been fighting since the 70s? Also, will Teddy recognize him? I hope so. I hope there's a big, epic showdown with John Dory Senior and Teddy. So Senior versus Teddy. And I hope it's pretty awesome. I do think Teddy is going to blow up some things. I do think his plan is going to succeed somewhat. I don't think it's going to be like a massive destruction of Texas, but I do think he's going to blow up some areas. So I don't know if they're going to be able to stop him fully. Teddy's going to die, right? Because, I mean, the actor said that he's probably going to be in, I think he said he's in 4 episodes. So we already saw him in 1, and he's probably going to be in 14, 15, and 16. So it just makes sense that he's going to be in the final 3 episodes of the season. That gives him 4 episodes. So we'll have to see how it goes down. So Dragon says, Dakota will snap into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah. But ultimately, guys, there you go. That's my hour. Happens super fast. It goes by like that. Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you for all 37 likes. And I'll be back next Sunday. Still, if you were here last live stream, I talked about the bad news that my wife had about her aunt. We still don't know what's going to happen with that because, you know, her aunt died, and I knew her aunt, and it's a sad thing. But going to South Florida will probably happen in the next couple weeks or maybe next month or something. I don't know. So I'll be back. I may miss a live stream somehow, some way there. And then in June, I have another trip that I have to go take. So I'll probably miss a live stream there. But I think it's going to be after Fear the Walking Dead ends for season 6. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'll definitely let you know and up to date for the live streams for if I'll be there or not, because I don't want you guys expecting like, where's the live stream? Well, you know, I'll definitely let you guys know if I'm occupied for stuff. And I hate missing live streams because I enjoy doing them. I thought about doing another live stream like during the week, but I don't know what the schedule is going to be like. Also, probably going to be going back to work fuller time with physical therapy. So I'll probably have to be posting less videos and stuff because got to get back to regular life with the quarantine stuff and with vaccinations, getting more ready. We should hopefully be okay too. So thank you guys for being here. I thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the great questions. I'll be back posting videos all week long. I'm going to post a video later tonight about some spoilers for later on this season of Fear the Walking Dead. But I thought about doing, I had some other information, so I'll be doing more spoiler videos for Fear the Walking Dead and also Walking Dead stuff with filming locations and everything there. I know some people that I know, I don't think anybody's in here, but some people have been to Sonoy, so they got to see some different sites and some different filming places and different there too. So Rob K says, do a midnight live stream. That's a little late for me, brother. I'm more of a morning person, so I got to get my sleep. To be a midnight stream, man, that'd be a little crazy because that'd be like midnight for me. If I lived in like the West Coast or Mountain Time or something, I probably could get away with that because it wouldn't be midnight. But we'll have to see. Maybe down the road, I'll have to see how it goes down. And with the last season of The Walking Dead, I'll probably get there for it. But thank you guys. And remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Fight for us. Revenge will be out hopefully next Sunday. I'll have my proof that I can show you the book. It should hopefully up and be available through Amazon. So a bunch of different things should be in the woodwork for that. But Fight for Us Revenge will be out very soon. That's book 14 of the series. Thank you guys, and I'll see you. Enjoy tonight's episode. If you haven't